Hey folks, before we get into the video, I just want to let you know that the videos may be coming out a little bit slower. The test, the 8 in Skyrim series, if you are looking forward to that one, might be coming out a little bit slower as well, simply because I've been having a little bit of carpal tunnel problems, so that kind of thing. Just want to let y'all know. Anyways, enjoy the video. Bye. Everybody, welcome back to another RP, learning how to RP video. Alright, in the last video we talked about etiquette, and you need to know that, how to do, the rules, regulations, respect, all that kind of stuff. Now you can actually get into RP, now that you know that. So, what do you need to know to RP? Well, you need to know 5 different things. And those 5 different things are going to be your senses. Hang on, we're gonna pause it there, and and those 5 different things are going to be your senses. So when you write a post, you can do generally based off the 5 senses: touch, taste, smell, sight, and hearing, right? So you can generally go based off those. I'll go more in depth in all of these in different videos, maybe I'll combine 2 or whatever. But when you start off RP, it's your first time ever, you might do something like this. I came in and said hello. Alright, now there are 2 ways to RP. There is this way, which is, I'm going to move this over here and call this first person. And then there is he came in and said hello, which is third person. You could do second person, which is using they came in and said hello. That is kind of a second person way of doing it. It's leans more towards third, but yeah. So you can use, we'll just put it up here for they come on. They, he, she came in and said hello for third person. Okay. Now most people will want you I'm sorry. Oh wow, what's wrong with my throat? Anyways, too much soda or something. Anyways, most people will do third person when they RP. They'll want you to do third person. Some people will allow first person, but for majority, most people will do third person. So you're going to do things in third person from the character's perspective, and that's where you can bring your 5 senses into play. Now, let's say you're like, okay, I do third person, I can do third person, but let's say your RP posts, when you post in like a chat or forum site, are like this, are pretty much like this, right? First off, there's no real, you don't have, you're missing a couple things like this, and you're missing a comma, and maybe another comma here, and then you're also missing quotation marks to signify when your character's talking. So you need to have all that. But let's say you don't. Let's say this is literally your character. Yeah, okay, so let's say you do something like this, right? Pretty much kind of the same here in this example, but this is more blunt. So let's say you do something like this. There's nothing wrong with it, but most people won't roleplay with you, and as I said in the etiquette video, because it's boring. So you want to increase your depth. And when I mean by increase your depth, I mean like this. So this is generally called para, So one paragraph is generally called para. 2 or more is called multi-para. Once again, I'm using my good friend Lilith here as an example. I'll use another person later. So this is pretty much a multi-para of me and her role-playing, and you see how in some cases she'll have 4 posts, 5 posts, I'll have 4, my most recent one is 3. That's okay. You don't have to, you generally don't have to try and, if you're struggling to keep up with somebody, you're not really going to have fun, is what I'm trying to say. Most people are pretty chill as long as you pretty much reply to the general basis of what they've posted. So like your character's reacting in essence. So let's say you did something like this. So for example, let's say you did this, and then somebody goes and reacts in this way. So let's say this is what I reply with or whatever, right? And you see how there's a little bit more depth. It's 2 sentences, which is better than 1. If I wanted to add more, I could go into depth of what they were paying attention to. So maybe they were having a conversation with somebody else. And then we'll put whatever. Yeah. So you would add additional depth for the person they are being with. Alright, so let's say maybe they were having a conversation with somebody else, and so they'll pretty much make note of your entrance before doing more. And so that can increase the depth of the post to paragraph. They can put 2 paragraphs, that kind of thing. And then when they do, it just gives more for pretty much the person reading. So let's say you're reading and you're eavesdropping on their the conversation between this person and whoever else, and then you want to reply to that. It just makes RP a whole lot easier when you do it that way. But you don't have to struggle to do this high. I have another one, hold on, right here. Me and another person in this RP, she goes by Velvet. So me and Velvet are doing a sort of combat-based training session in this one, and you see how our posts aren't as long as the other one. This one's more like, short paragraphs, a couple, maybe 34, about 3-4 sentences, short paragraphs. They're not like 4 or 5 paragraphs. So, just depends on what you're doing. Me and Velvet did very much the same depth as me and Lilith have. So when it comes to that, it's pretty much just depth. That's what this whole video is pretty much about, the depth of your paragraph and how to get there is, try using touch, taste, smell, sight, and hearing. So let's say you're making an entrance, okay? So you're making entrance and you're not gonna, and so we'll use this one. So let's say this was your original entrance before you tried to put depth into it. So let's do it again. And Okay, so this one's a little bit longer. It has about maybe 3 sentences, a little bit more depth. I probably could have did more, but you know, this is just an example to help you as who's trying to learn how to RP to get better. Alright, so in this one, you can notice that I used a feeling type of sense. So bare feet tapping against the cold floor is touch, which is also feeling. You could, and then we had turned at the corner, they would shout in a jolly manner hello, which could be hearing. A bright warm smile on their face that they tend to gather everyone's attention, which could be sight, which is not only what you're, so when you make depth, you don't have to do it for not only what your character perceives, but what other people can perceive. So expressions, we can put expressions here on this one. So pretty much expressions can also help. So let's say when you want to express something like anger, instead of just saying things like he shouted angrily, like that. So instead of that, add a couple of expressions. Maybe he shouted angrily, but maybe his let me So while it's a little bit shorter than the other one, it also has more of expression to it. You can use the word expression as well, and if you want to help the reader understand what you're trying to express, you can use anything: compassion, affection, anguish, sorrow, sadness, just anything to bring to life your character and pretty much your writing, to bring in depth. So that's pretty much what that one is all about. Just, if you want to add more depth, you need, put yourself in your character's shoes for your 5 senses, and then take yourself out of your character's shoes and, apply expressions. What would you see on your character's face that would pretty much help the reader or other characters understand what you're trying to bring out? Because nobody's a mind reader. Nobody's a mind reader. Yeah, they can read what you write, but if it's going to be like this, I mean, they shouted hello. Like, are they angry, upset, mad? That kind of thing. You never know. Maybe they don't know if your character is crazy or whatever, and you're shouting hello in some bizarre manner. But, you just gotta add expressions to your stuff, because that's going to be one of the ways on how you do things to bring more depth to your RP. But I will in later videos go more in depth of these 5 senses, since this one was more kind of depth and expressions kind of thing. Maybe I'll combine some of these into different videos and go over them together. But that's going to be all for this one. If you liked the video, please leave a like down below. Comment, if you have any questions, concerns, or you just want to leave a comment, go right ahead. And feel free to hit the subscribe button. It does help. For now, toodaloos. I'll see ya in the next one.